What's going on, everybody? Kent Howard, Green Mountain Defense, coming at you today with another video for my education in the Sonoran Desert Institute Associates in Firearms Technology program. What we're going to do today is demonstrate how to mount a scope the proper way on a Ruger 1022 rifle. A lot of you guys don't do this probably, but we are actually going to lap these Vortex Hunter scope rings that the good folks at SDI were nice enough to send me. Part of the assignment here is to mount a Weaver scope base for a 1022. My 1022 already has a Weaver scope base mounted on it, but very simply all you do to do that is put the gun in a vise, line up the holes on the mount base with the corresponding drilled and tapped holes in the upper receiver, yeah, like it's an AR, in the receiver of the 1022, and you simply apply blue Loctite to your screws after cleaning and degreasing everything, and you just Loctite your screws down and flatten out even the base on the rifle, checking to make sure everything's level, of course. So I'm not going to undo and redo that process just for the point of the assignment, because it's, quite frankly, it's pretty basic. We know what we're doing here. All we're doing is, putting a base on a rifle and screwing it down. So we won't be needing to do that. What we will need to do, however, is position our scope rings front and rear on the rifle. We'll need to take this AIM Surplus 27x42 Scout scope and position it correctly for the correct eye relief on that rifle. Candidly, I'm doing this more for a project than anything else. I'm not certain the Scout scope is going to have the correct eye relief on the Ruger rifle. I'm not even sure the base is long enough to put a Scout scope on a Ruger rifle. But that's what I have. I'm not gonna dismount any of my other previously done optics or anything just for the point of a school project. But you'll get to see the process of aligning scope rings with these alignment bars. Obviously, the idea is that these two alignment bars be close to each other and touching like so, and be in alignment. You don't want one like this or like this or like this, torqued. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but through lapping, we will be able to straighten these out as close as possible. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to the bench over here. I've already got the 1022 safety check declared on the bench. No sources of ammunition over there, no magazines, etc. And we're just going to do a general test fit and line everything up on the rifle. So we'll cut real quick and come back and do that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to simply take our bases and make sure that we can get them aligned on the previously done mount. At this juncture, there's no need to go super snug. Boy, these are high bases. Oops. If you look on the base of the 1022, there are little slots in this mount for the bolt to go through and hook up to. So you are limited in placement by the slots on the mount itself. Once we're happy with that, I'll reach over. I'm going to simply remove Gotta love this tipped-in gun vise because it has places to put all your small parts. I do have more of these Vortex screws if necessary, but I figure we should be good to go. One key component here is to make sure that you keep your pairs together so that your front ring is always your front ring and your rear ring is always your rear ring. You don't want to mix and match parts and screws and everything else. We're trying to have as repeatable of a process when this job gets done as we possibly can. So out that comes. Scooby-Doo. Just play some Jeopardy music for you people. I love Vortex. They always send the necessary tools with their stuff. So that can all be sat in there for just a moment. What we're going to first do is just make sure that in general this scope can be lined up with the proper eye relief in these rings. That's as far forward as I'm going to be able to get the scope. I'm going to have to back off just a notch, actually, to make room for that adjustment knob. Looks pretty good, but let's see what the eye relief looks like. If anything, the eye relief's a little long. Kind of funny, SDI sent us a long eye relief scope. It seems to have been predestined based on the mount they sent me for a 1022. Or on the base, I mean, for a 1022, but that's actually not as terrible as I thought it would be. It's not perfect, but for demonstration purposes, it'll work just fine. I probably would not run it like that normally. In all honesty, the eye relief on this scope wants the scope to be further forward sitting like this. This is a scout scope that they sent me. But again, for demo purposes of how to lat, it'll do just fine. Once we've made that part work, I'm going to take our alignment bars and sit them here. These actually are very close. Of course, it's difficult. These are designed, again, to be separated further out like so on a traditional rifle. And just to be certain, yeah, they sent me these. Maybe not. Is that the scoop? Is this a longer base? No. They sent me the same length base, so that won't get us any different. Go ahead and cut for a minute. Alright, so what we're doing now is we're inserting the alignment bars into these scope rings so that we can get an idea of our actual alignment here. Just gonna tell you right now, this is a testament to Vortex quality in their rings. These bad boys are pretty close. Now, what we don't want to do is totally tighten anything. It's all going to be coming back apart anyway. Everything to sit just about as snug and as flush as we can get it to sit. See, as I tighten this left side, it's going to come into alignment. see that camera on. Boy, I tell ya, that's pretty close. Not a lot of work to be done there, but nevertheless, for the purposes of school, we're gonna go ahead and do it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull these alignment bars out. Might have over snugged just a smidge here. Just like so. And we're going to cut, and when we come back, we're going to insert the actual lapping rod. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to run that lapping rod in place of where the scope would be, yeah. I'm going to attach our little friend, Mr. Ball. This is the rod handle here. Like so. Wheeler 220 grit lapping compound. It's going to get applied. This stuff looks like it's a little unhappy with life. And we're just gonna apply some of this stuff liberally to the whole exterior of the lapping rod. This effectively turns this metallic rod into sandpaper that can then be used to smooth out any rough metal finished edges, any high spots or low spots in these mounts or bases. There's no perfect science to this, candidly. It's just kind of a matter of getting it to act the way you want it to. You want to be in front and behind the rings. Make sure you get a nice even application on all sides. It'll start to smooth out as you use it. You can hear that end. That guy's already a little unhappy down there. So, we've used that. We're just basically going to work back and forth with the lapping compound, and slowly but surely attack any high spots or low spots in those rings. Now I know you guys on camera can't, but Soph, can you almost smell that that's getting like a little hot?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, creating a little friction. Add a little more lapping compound. It's imperative. I'm not too concerned on this 1022 because the receiver is closed and remains closed. But it's imperative that this stuff not be allowed to get into the receiver of a firearm, down into a scope. Because it's basically sandpaper and could in fact ruin something. So we're just gonna come over here. We're gonna tighten our ring a little bit on that side. Tighten our ring there. We want to make sure that we have an even amount of gap on all sides of the scope rings, which we do. Oh, maybe I want a little too tight. Back off about a quarter turn on each one. Just like that. We can complete this operation by continuing to move back and forth and tighten as necessary. We're going to go ahead and cut, clean this up, and then we'll mount the scope. Alright, so now we're just removing our rings from the lapping compound. Just cleaning off all the goop and gunk. It's important to make sure that we check these for high spots and low spots. Which I don't really see any. My dogs are going crazy upstairs. We may be getting robbed. Notice nice even application of that stuff on the inside. There's no missing spot anywhere. There's nothing that the ring didn't get any lapping compound.
I'm gonna double check upstairs.
Yeah, the dogs will bite them if they're robbing us.
That's true. Or a very loud bark. Louder than we just heard.
Okay, off you come, you big galoot. There for now. Get your buddies all clean. No high spots, no low spots. Things actually look pretty good in there. Once we get all this gook cleaned off, we should be good to go. Now, what we can do is we can even reinstall our alignment bars. To make sure that we have had the proper effect. I can tell you right now that our, I'm going to call it windage alignment, is considerably better. Our elevation was pretty much where you wanted it to be. They were correct elevation wise, but my God, those are about perfect. Okay. You see that camera? I mean, we are pretty close there. Pretty darn close. So we're gonna go ahead and cut. I'm gonna show you the mounting of the scope. Okay, so now all there's left to do is install this scope. So what you want to do is get your rings just kind of loosey-goosey on there. You want to play with your eye relief a little bit. Basically what I want is I checked my eye relief already. It's not perfect with this Scout scope, but it's close. So I want to go the whole way pushed up against this adjustment, and then I want to back out just a skosh because I can't actually be pushed the whole way up against the adjustment. From there, we're going to go ahead and grab a level. And we're going to level everything. In relation to, oh, whoop-de-doop-de-doo. Well, here we had it. There, about like there. Yeah, that actually does look pretty level. That bubble's about right in the center. Just a quick thing of note, if you don't have flat scope caps on the top, if they're round, you can usually unscrew the scope cap and you'll be good to go because you can set your level down on the actual adjustment knob itself. So I'm going to go a couple turns here. I've always done this in like a star pattern, kind of like you do when you're putting on a tire on a car. Just want to slowly but surely snug everybody down so everybody's happy. We don't have any side to side movement, no play. Everybody's nice and tight. We get about the same gap front to rear as we do. Yeah, we are pretty well set up there. As you can see, I can still use my adjustment knob for magnification, so I haven't screwed that up. Check to make sure I haven't screwed up my level entirely. Nope, I have not. most importantly, what does this look like from the perspective of the shooter? It's just a little off kilter. I need to come off. Just a touch. This is a real trial and error thing. That ends up being pretty serviceable, and we can just tighten right there. We can tighten right there. Right there. Right there. We got a scope that's not going anywhere. We got a working adjustment knob. We got a nicely lapped out set of scope rings. Things are pretty well even. I'm going to be candid with you. If I was going to keep this setup on this rifle, I would get a rail that extended up just a touch further so I could move this eye relief forward about, I don't know, about 2 inches would be ideal, but I just don't have the rail space. And the rail that SDI sent me would not be, that wouldn't give me any more rail space. It would get me literally forward by 1 click. That just wouldn't be enough. So there you go. We've gone ahead and we've discussed how to mount this base. Again, all you would need to do is clean everything with some denatured alcohol and screw the screws down into the base holes on an even plane by adding some Loctite. We've gone ahead and we've tested with the alignment bars. We've removed that. We've used the lapping compound and the lapping rod to go ahead and clean that up. We went back, did a secondary test fit, found that we were able to come much closer to alignment, set our scope up, leveled everything out, tested, and we have a properly mounted scope, although a little high and a little too little eye relief for my like, but other than that, we're good to go on it, and it worked out just fine. This has been Ken Howarth, Green Mountain Defense. Please like, favorite, subscribe, and share. If you have any questions, post them below. Please feel free to follow the links in the description for our affiliates, Amazon and Big Daddy Unlimited. And www.greenmountaindefense.com, Facebook at Green Mountain Defense, YouTube at Green Mountain Defense. Later.